upcoming game taking on Platteview, and it's a close one. To the third quarter, after some good halftime entertainment, Ralston's Connor Brown grabs it, runs down from the 40-yard line, swerves past some Trojans, gains nearly 30 yards for the Rams. That same drive, Ram quarterback Cade Sticks chucks the ball in, and Graham ready to receive. He catches it running into the end zone, catching up to Plattview's lead. Score knotted at 14-14 here. Platteview putting up a fight, though. Later in the quarter, Trojans' Brandon Bill just breaks through a wall of players, bringing his team up to the 20-yard line. Still a tie game headed into the final quarter. And our final score that we were able to find, 21-20 Ralston.